What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Team Member Perspective Podcast Show. I am Coulter, your host, former top producing team member in life and health insurance sales. I got to a place where I was averaging right around 232 life insurance applications every single year with right around $100,000 in annual premium. And health insurance, the supplemental health insurance products, I was doing about 100 plus of those a year with right around $25,000 in annualized premium. And I was consistent with that. I did that a handful of years. And the only way that would have happened for me was with the right systems and processes in place. If I didn't have a systematic way of doing things and have processes that I could just plug into every month that would allow me to have that consistency, I wouldn't have had consistency at that type of a level. Without systems and processes, forget it. It probably wouldn't have happened for me. And as I was able to do that as a team member, that's really where this team member perspective training program evolved from. And today, me and my team member coaches, we are teaching team members nationwide how to implement this system into their day. And so on this training episode, I want to talk and walk through this agency financial service system, the blueprint that I use to write 300 plus financial services every single year with 150,000 on average in premium. And what is the agency financial service system? Well, it's just that. It's your blueprint that your agency, your team, like if you're a team member, you can use this stuff to go out and write life and health insurance at that type of a level. And I'm passionate about this because as a team member, I was writing P&C as well as life and health, but before I was writing the life and health at this level, I was making okay money. But when I learned how to sell financial services consistently at this level, my income changed. My life changed financially. And I remember thinking like, holy cow, like this is crazy. I can make this type of a money as a team member. Like I don't have to be the agent. I don't have to have all of that risk, but I get to basically be in an opportunity where I can create a lot of money for myself, right? I can basically operate my own little business under the umbrella of my agent, under the umbrella of my agent's business without the risk. And so anyways, that was my mindset as a team member, is that we truly have an opportunity. It's not a job. But what I find with 99% of team members is they're viewing their role as a team member as a job. They're just showing up to work at 9 and clocking out at 5:30. And they're just trading their time for money. And because they're thinking about it as a job, they're not getting as much out of it as they could. And so this is my hope to maybe help you, if you're a team member listening to this, to really reframe the way that you look at your role. That you truly are in an opportunity and you get to decide what that paycheck says every month. That should fuel you. That should empower you. I know it does me. But I want to get tactical with you today, and I want to teach you a few things, teach you the concept of this agency life system, and in hopes that maybe you can take some things from this and start implementing it into your day, into your specific role in the agency to write more financial services and maybe get to the next level of consistency for yourself. Because I'm telling you, what if you're able to double your income like I was able to do as a team member just by learning these things? What would that do for you? How would that feel if you could have double the money coming in to your bank account every month? Okay, and here's a cool thing. I remember just like thinking back to when I was just writing P&C and the life and health wasn't really there for me. Thinking back to then versus when I started to actually sell life and health at a high level consistently, I don't really feel like I was working any harder when I was selling all those financial services versus when I wasn't, right? So that's a limiting belief that maybe we tell ourselves, is that, man, that's going to be a lot more work to do all of that. I don't really think that's the case. And I think this agency financial service system is what allowed me to do it consistently, but also in a way that was sustainable and worked for me, where I didn't feel like I was drowning and overwhelmed. Okay. And so the idea with this agency financial service system is it can plug in to what you're already doing, what's already working for you. The last thing that I would want you to do is just completely stop everything that you're doing, especially the things that are working, and just start only doing this. I would say keep doing what's working, but enhance it, make it better. Find places where maybe you can capitalize and create more life and health opportunities based on your specific role, because that's just it. You might be a team member listening to this and you're just strictly new business. You're working internet leads, you're working referrals, your follow-ups, win-backs, but you're not doing any sort of service work. Now, others of you might be in like a hybrid sales service role where you're doing the new business stuff, but you're also tasked with helping out with service in the office, in the agency. Okay, so I want you to think about your specific role and maybe think about what different processes and things that you could add into what you're already doing that can help you find more consistency and get to that next level. Okay, so agency financial service system. This is my blueprint to selling 300 plus financial services a year with $150,000 in annualized premium. Okay, this system has 4 legs to it. Okay, and I'm going to explain these legs that make up this system. But before I do, I think it's really important to understand that systems and processes, in order for them to be sustainable, in order for them to be repeated, and for all of our team members to be able to plug into the system and processes, they need to be very simple. What's up, guys? Real quick, just want to let you know, if you want to get in touch with me directly, here is one way to do it. You can text me at 435-512-1647. Again, 435-512-1647. If you've got a question around pivoting, how can I pivot effectively, overcoming objections, or whatever topic that you feel like you could use help in right now, text me and we'll get you some resources over. We'll get you some trainings over. But also, if you want to get involved with us here at the Team Member Perspective and you want to plug into a community of high performers, of people that are playing at a really high level, if you want to get around those people and learn what they're doing and train with us and practice with us, please text me. We can get you some more details. Again, that phone number is 435-512-1647. Appreciate you and enjoy. Complexity is the enemy of execution. If you don't want your team members to execute on something, give them a process that's very complex and hard to replicate. On the flip side, if you want them to do it and you want them to do it consistently and actually, just do it, we need to keep it really simple. Okay? Now, within this agency financial service system, I believe that team members, any team member, whether you're brand new to the industry, maybe you've been doing this for a long time, I believe that any team member can plug in and use systems and processes to their advantage, can use this agency financial service to their advantage to sell more policies, as long as they know 3 simple things. Okay? And it's this. Number one, if we truly want to sell more life and health insurance, number one, we need to know where to go to create and find life and health opportunities in our agency with our specific role. Number 2 is we need to know what to do when we get there. And then number 3 is we need to know exactly how to execute the process in a way that's compelling, in a way that works. Okay? And so this agency financial service system is going to touch on those things. And in this podcast training episode, I'm going to walk you through exactly where to go in your agency to create life and health opportunities and talk about a few of the things that you can do, what to do when you get there. Okay? So the 4 legs, the 4 pieces, 4 legs to this agency financial service system, okay, which is your blueprint to selling 300 plus financial services a year, $150,000 in premium. The 4 legs are this. Number 1 is new business. Okay? The second area is the everyday service calls and transactions in our agencies. The third area is our book of business. And the 4th area is policy review appointments. Okay, so let's get a little bit more granular. Let's get a little bit more specific within each of these legs. Okay, because each of these legs, that's really where you can go in your agency to write more financial services. Okay, so let's start with the first leg, which is new business. If we really think about it, if you're a new business team member and you're quoting new households, you're trying to get new money into the agency, we can write life and health products with a few different ways with new business. Okay, the first way is upfront with the PNC. Okay, we can write life and health products upfront with the PNC. Now, there's a few things that will help you to do this. And one of them that I'll share is you need to figure out what the customer is currently paying with their current insurance company. That is going to give you a benchmark. That's going to allow you to know what strategy and approach to use to bring up life and health with that customer up front with the PNC, okay? So we can write those up front with the PNC. The other area where we can write life and health with new business is in onboarding review appointments. Here's the thing, is if you want to increase your odds by 100% of writing life and health with new business, hold onboarding review appointments with the new customers that you write. Okay, now I know a lot of you are probably like, Colter, like, why would I do that when I just spent 30 minutes signing them up a week ago? Here's the deal. You need to start thinking like a salesperson, like a business owner, like this is your own little business, okay? Why would you not want to systematize getting in front of people again? Why would you not want to get in front of those people that you just wrote again, okay? I'll tell you why you might want to. Number one is it's going to help with your relationship with them. You're going to stand out from every other company that they've had, and they're going to feel that you care, okay? And that's going to help you with everything else that you try to do. Okay, so you're going to develop a relationship with them. It's going to help with retention. You're going to be able to make sure that we've got all the documents that we need to make sure that their experience is good from the get-go. Okay, because when people switch to your company, we want to make sure that transition is very smooth and that it's like anything that they've had in an insurance company before. Like, you want to stand out. An onboarding review appointment can systematize that for you. Okay, we're going to review, make sure everything's correct, make sure we didn't miss anything. But then the other reason, this is where you think like a salesperson, is you get to get in front of them again to give yourself another opportunity to talk about life insurance, talk about disability insurance, supplemental health. You get another at bat. Okay, now I want to challenge your thinking here. Okay, so let's say that with new business, you write a life insurance policy. Maybe it's a smaller policy in nature, but you write it up front with the PNC. In an onboarding review appointment, you can work to build that coverage out. Okay, so maybe it's a smaller policy. Maybe it's just designed to pay off the loan on a car. Okay, in an onboarding review appointment, it's like the environment and the setting is better for you to be able to ask more in-depth questions and be able to go after more coverage. Maybe you talk to them and say, hey, look, it's great that we're covering the loan on the Ford, but what would happen to the house? I know you've got the mortgage on the house. Who would be forced to make the monthly mortgage payments on the house? You can do that in an onboarding review appointment. And so what if you wrote a $100,000 policy up front with the PNC, but in your onboarding review appointment, you started to make that part of your process that every new household that you wrote or write, you meet with again in an onboarding review appointment to review, build some trust, but also to maybe go into some upsells. What if you could turn that $100,000 policy into $850,000 because in that onboarding review, they now not only want to pay off the loan on the car, but they want to pay off the mortgage as well. Maybe replace some income. That's the power of an onboarding review appointment, okay? So that's the first area, new business, okay? We can write it up front with the PNC. We can also write it in the back end in an onboarding review appointment. And I think the last thing to really think about with your process is referrals. Do you have a system in place where you ask for referrals? And maybe you ask more than one time. Because here's the deal. What if you could write a household and that household gave you 2 more households to write? Okay? What if you could get on average 1 referral per household that you submit? Think about that's one way to double your production by just simply working smarter. An onboarding review, by the way, is an opportunity for you to ask for referrals again, get Google reviews, right? So that's new business. We can write life and health with new business. That's the first leg, okay? The second leg is the everyday service calls and transactions, okay? So maybe you're in a hybrid role and maybe you found yourself giving this excuse and giving power away. And it's this, you know what, Colter? If I only had more time to make sales calls, then I could sell more. But I feel like I'm overwhelmed with service. I've got all this service to do every day. There's no way I could sell that much, okay? Maybe you found yourself giving that excuse, but here's the deal. I believe that service is a gold mine of opportunity. Why? Because I've been there. I've done that. That's where I created a lot of opportunities. That's where I wrote a lot of financial services, okay? So if you find that you're taking a lot of service work, develop the mindset of take care plus one. Take care plus one. Both of those are very important. Number one, have the mindset that you're trying to create more opportunities for yourself, plus one, but also take care. Like the more that you take care, the better you take care of someone, the more trust you develop, the more that they like you, the more that they're going to actually listen to your recommendations, and your recommendations might actually carry more weight, okay? And think about it, a couple service transactions coming in. Think about how many added or replaced vehicle transactions that you get maybe in any given month, right? Maybe you're like, you know what, Coulter, I probably get 20 of those every month. Okay. For math's sake, let's say that you get 20 added or replacement vehicles every month. And I want you to think about, like, of those 20, what percentage of the new cars that they're adding or replacing have loans? I ask this question to agents when they're inquiring about what we do, and I ask them, like, how many added replacement vehicles transactions you feel like you and your agency are getting? And let's say they say 20. Great. Now, what percentage of those 20 would you say have a loan on them? Most of the time, they're like probably 80%. Okay, so if we take 20 times 80, all of a sudden, we have 16 opportunities where we can talk to the customer about life insurance to pay that loan off and disability insurance to make that monthly payment. Just on those inbound calls to add or replace vehicles alone, okay? And we teach this process in our group. And when I was a team member, I was getting close to a 60% closing ratio with this thing, where 10 conversations I'm having, 6 of them out of 10 are choosing to do life and disability or one or the other. Okay, so if you got 16 at-bats times even 50% closing ratio, you've got 8 financial services that you can add to your bottom line. And let's say that maybe you're like, I don't know if I could close half of them. Let's even do 30%. All of a sudden, you've got 5 financial services that you can add to your bottom line as a hybrid sales service role that you maybe didn't have before. Okay? And so that's one small process within of many processes that we train on, that we have in this agency financial service system to create opportunities, life and health opportunities from the everyday service calls and tasks in our agencies. Right? Another one is we have all these BOD tasks. Now, I know a lot of you are outsourcing the BOD, but my question for you is, do you have a filter to where those BOD people can send your salespeople low-hanging fruit opportunities when premium's leaving the agency? Because I'll tell you this, if someone's premium's going down, if we can be proactive in our agencies and call them, let them know the decrease, but also maybe offer them a life policy to cover an immediate need, you'll be surprised at how many people will actually do that. Sales becomes very easy when we're just taking advantage of these low-hanging fruit opportunities in our agencies. And I find that most aren't. But with this system, it allows us to systematize this, plug these processes in to allow us and our teams and our agencies the best possible chance at winning and winning consistently. Okay? So that's the second leg. The everyday service calls and tasks, are we creating life and health opportunities from those? Okay. Now the third leg is working our book of business. Okay. And I've got a list of all of the outbound strategies, or a lot of them, maybe not all of them, a lot of the outbound strategies and approaches that we can use to work our book of business, right? Because we've got a book of business of customers that trust us. They have maybe their auto and home with us. Some might have life insurance. Some might have health insurance, right? But we've got a big book of business. Are we working that book every year? I believe that if you're a team member listening to this, I believe that if you truly want to sell more financial services, you need to have a proactive approach, a proactive outbound strategy that you work every day. Instead of waiting for new leads to come in to quote new business, or maybe instead of waiting for the inbound service calls to come in and things of that nature, like that's more of a reactive strategy. We need to have something where we can be proactive, where we can basically have the ball in our court and go and proactively create life and health insurance opportunities. And the way to do it is to work our current book of business. Okay. And so different approaches, I'm just going to read off a handful of these, of different strategies and outbound approaches that we can use working our book, are all the autos that don't have a multi-line discount, last chance lists, last chance to get a 10-year term, last chance to get a 20-year term, last chance to get a 30-year term, running a list of all of the youthful drivers on our book of business, all of the autos that have a loan, all of the homeowners that have a loan, all of our business owners, all of the autos that are renewing this month, all of the homeowners that are renewing this month, all the motorcycles on our book of business, birthday lists, okay? And a lot more. But my point is, there are a lot of different strategies and approaches that we can implement and throw into our agencies, give to our teams, that will allow us to write more financial services, okay? And then the last piece, the last leg of this agency financial service system is review appointments, okay? Issuance reviews, meaning I write you a life insurance policy to pay off the loan on your car, okay? I tell you, look, this policy gets sent to me. I need to get it delivered to you. So I'll just need you to come in for 10 minutes and I'll give it to you, but we're going to review this policy and make sure it's going to do exactly what you want it to do, because we've only got one shot at filing this thing. Okay, great. So the policy issues, I call you up and you come into my office and I deliver the policy and I review it with you. In this issuance review, I can go after more coverage, aka more premium, okay? It's the power of an issuance review, and it's just like an onboarding review where it systematizes and allows me to get in front of that customer again. And as a salesperson, I want to get in front of as many people as I can, okay? So an issuance review, onboarding review, we talked about that with new business, annual household review, where we're just reviewing all of their policies with us, okay? Annual life insurance review, and even more of an impromptu quick review that we can implement in our everyday conversations, okay? And so those are the 4 legs to the agency financial service system. New business, everyday service calls and tasks, book, working the book, and review appointments. And within each of those legs are different processes, different sales processes that we can plug into our roles to write more life and health products in our agencies and make it very systematic. Okay. And so guys, this is the exact blueprint, the exact system that I followed to write 232 plus applications, life insurance applications every year, 100 plus health insurance applications every year with 150,000 plus in annualized premium. It's the agency financial service system. And again, like I said, for systems and processes to work, to actually give us the results that we want and we know we can get, they need to be very simple, okay? And as you've listened to this, my hope is that you've found different things. You're like, oh, maybe I could start implementing an onboarding review appointment. Or, oh, I never thought of that. All of the added cards that are coming in, why don't we talk to them about life and disability, right? My hope is that you've found something that maybe can help you and your agency maybe get to that next level. Now, if you're like me, I like the details. I like to know exactly how to execute on these processes, right? I want to know, what are people saying to set up these types of conversations? What are we saying to pivot into these conversations? What do our transition statements sound like? How are we building value and really helping people understand like the risk or the exposure or the problem that they face, whether, they realize it or not? Like, how do we help them understand that? And then how do we help them really understand the solution to that problem or that exposure, the coverage for that exposure? And how do we help them understand the benefits for them and their family? And then what do we do to close? Those are the details that I like and that I want. And so if you're like me and want those details, reach out to us. This is what, in our group, the team member perspective, this is exactly what we train on. Throughout the year, we're going to train on one specific process every single Friday, where we're going to get into the details from pivot to close of how to execute on this process. We're going to teach team exactly where to go to create these opportunities, what to do to get there, and exactly how to execute on this conversation. And the deal is we can actually prevent objections from coming up in the first place. So if you're a team member or your team, you guys get frustrated with all these objections that you're getting, it might be a sign that you might be setting yourself up for objections. All of the processes within our agency financial service system are designed to prevent objections from happening in the first place. They are designed to be very simple so that a brand new team member without any insurance experience, no sales experience, can come in, plug in with this process, and get results. I remember I had a team member out of Michigan. His first month selling life insurance, he took a couple processes from the system and he wrote 14 life apps in his first month. We're having agencies that have been in business for 8 years travel for the first time by just implementing this agency life system in the agency. I've had tenured team members doing it for 14 plus years come in, learn this system, take bits and pieces, plug it into their role, and just enhance what they're already doing. And I had a team member that's been doing it for 14 years, came to us writing 6 to 8 life a month, which is great. He is now consistently doubling that just by learning these systems and processes and learning how to deliver them, right? Because it's one thing to know exactly where to go to create these opportunities, which I've shared today, and know what to do when we get there, like the approach and the strategy is important. But then it's another thing to know exactly how to execute on it. I believe that in this industry, 90% of our success in selling financial services and the success of our teams is going to be on our delivery, okay? So if our delivery is poor, we're going to get a lot of objections. But if it's good, we're going to prevent them from ever coming up. And we're going to write more life insurance, write more health insurance than we ever thought possible. And my hope and our goal is that we can empower team members with this system, with these processes, with the sales skills, with the communication skills, with the delivery skills to go out and write a lot of life and health insurance. Write enough to where agencies hit their goals. We hit the promotions. We hit the goals and the travel goals that we have as an agency. We can do all of that through the team members. You're going to make more money than you ever have. When I learned to sell the financial services at the level I did consistently, my income changed. My life changed financially. That's what our goal is for you as a team member, is to tap into that. Like, you have this opportunity at your fingertips. We want to help you make more money. You'll find more fulfillment, but you'll have this confidence that you can actually go and do it, which is beautiful, okay? And then for you agency owners, imagine your team picking up that production year after year. That way you don't have to stress out about it every November, December, get those last minute apps in, but you can focus on other parts of the business. You can have the time and freedom that you signed up for, knowing that this stuff is getting done for your team. So if you feel like you want to learn a little bit more about this agency financial service system, maybe you have some questions about what that looks like and how we deliver and help train and help team members implement this into their roles, and maybe you have some questions about how this might fit in with your agency, click the description below and let's connect. Let's get on a phone call. Would love to answer any questions you might have and explain more a little bit about what we do. That is the agency financial service system, the blueprint to writing 300 plus financial services every single year consistently with over $150,000 in annualized premium. Hope that's helpful. If you have any questions, please reach out, but we'll catch you in the next one.